Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Biblio Fitness. Hope everyone's had a great day. Made some beautiful gains. I know your boy did. You already know your boy did. You know, I don't even do arms like that in that game, babe. You know, it's pretty lit. Uh, but before I go on and toot my own horn a little bit too much, I don't want to commit too much mental masturbation today. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about power, or what it is to be powerful, from the perspective of stoicism and existentialism and Nietzsche. I believe that those, me reading both of them at the same time. I'm reading Epictetus' discourses and selected writings alongside The Dawn of Day by Nietzsche, and I believe both of those schools of thought or philosophies coincide and mesh very well together. Obviously, they come down to different conclusions once you get down to once you start nitpicking. But there's a lot that you can use, and especially, as a young man, not a young man anymore. I'm about to hit 29 in a month, but I'm in the prime of my life, and I gotta say that reading these two things, and reading these great men, and really trying to enact the 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 stuff that you learn, right, and the realizations that they help you along in, right. We can never do this on our own, and that's why it's always crucial to stand on the shoulders of your giants, never to be so arrogant as to think that you could solve it on your own. And that's basically what the title of today is: the difference between being powerful and being arrogant, and what does that even entail, right? Because Nietzsche and Epictetus really agree on these two premises. At the same time, I'm reading about them in both books, which is what it is to be powerful, how we should relate to the powerful, and what it is to be powerful. And the flip side is to be arrogant, right? Nietzsche talks about how arrogance is really a pathetic attempt at exhibiting power. It's hypocrisy. It's trying to simulate. It's trying to put on a facade, and it's a false confidence, right? It's a confidence stemming from the void, from absolutely nothing, from no work being done. And that is completely antithetical to what true confidence is. Confidence does not require illusions, does not acquire delusions, does not require any of these fallacies, because the confidence speaks for itself, right? You exhibit confidence because of the work that you have made and the influence that you project on others, and things of that nature, right? It's like, what power do you have over individuals? And it's really cool with how Epictetus kind of wraps it up in what I was reading. I believe the title is, I'm not gonna read the whole fucking thing, hell no, but it's titled, it's section 19, entitled "How We Should Act Towards the Powerful." And it kind of goes into the whole superficiality of even modern times, what it is to be powerful, right? And how we relate to those who are powerful, or those who believe that they are powerful. Our superficial inclinations nowadays provide the moniker power to any fucking retard with a huge following on social media, for example. They're powerful, influential individuals, even though, a lot of them haven't exhibited any work whatsoever. Or people want the whole world, or people think that they're high value, or people think that they deserve millions, or they deserve the best partner, or all this other stuff, without any toil, without any sacrifice, without any work, without any blood, sweat, and tears. And that's probably my biggest knock against OnlyFans girls, for example. I'm not against sex work. You want to fucking open up your legs to make your money, by all means do so. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fucking religious person. I'm not the individual that's gonna look down on women that want to make money out of sex. That's, it's the oldest profession in history, but the reason I lose respect is because you're gaining all this money and the supposed influence and advantages and whatnot for doing nothing. You didn't work for it. You didn't sweat for it. You didn't study for it. You didn't break your balls. You didn't bust your back. You didn't do anything. You just showed a fucking picture of your butthole. And you know what I'm saying? There's no work involved. And how can you possibly respect that which does not require work? And we should take that into account when we relate to those who are supposedly in power, those who supposedly hold the title of supreme of leaders or leaders of government or whatever the case may be, and they're a bunch of just jackasses. They got there because of who their daddy is. They got there because they were part of a secret organization in Yale and they were sucking each other's dicks, drowning in feces. That's why they got there. And and it comes to show that to be powerful, you don't need to exhibit any sort of strong qualities. It's all about who you know, what you know, and like it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? In order to advance. And that's why the substance of power itself has diminished greatly, because we have completely we washed away with the suffering involved because of our pathetic aversion to suffering, right? The whole trajectory of this fucking civilization is to mitigate as much suffering as possible for us, when if anything that's actually causing more harm than good. But Epictetus goes on and talks about a great story how like people who are arrogant, who believe that they are powerful, want respect. They want submission. They want love and attention from their subjects. And it's like, do you really want that? Like, that's no different. Epictetus talks about, that's no different from me showing respect and attention to my horse, or to put an oil lamp, to put a nail in the wall and put an oil lamp up there. I gave attention and respect. Does that mean it has power over me? No. It's all about reciprocity, right? And that's one of the big essential points within Nietzsche as well, is reciprocity is a trait of the powerful. Those who seek favor are pitiful individuals. Those who cannot reciprocate that which is bestowed upon them by others, therefore they seek favor from others, right? And even with the power, and Epictetus makes that very good point of reciprocity, utility. Like, you want me to respect you, you want me to follow you, you want me to listen to what you have to say, but what can you do for me? What are you going to do for me? What utility are you going to provide for my life in order for me to want to follow you? There has to be that reciprocity, there has to be that give and take, right? And those who are arrogant will just say, as Epictetus said, well, I could chop your fucking head off if you don't listen to me, or I can chain you, I can imprison you. And Epictetus is like, dude, is that powerful to you? If you're gonna be that way, then I might as well relate you to a fucking plague. Try to get away from you as much as possible, because I fear the ramifications upon my own existence because of your attitudes like that. That's not true power. The true power is able to exhibit influence, and power is wanting people around you to emulate you, right? People wanting to see, how are you doing this? How can I be like that? Not wanting to see, it's not just what can that person do for me, but how can I be that person? That, I feel, is the big jump on what true power is, and especially in relation to something like stoicism and Nietzsche. Well, existentialism, if you want to call it that, but I don't think Nietzsche would like to be called such a moniker, because he's an immoralist. He's breaking away from most philosophies. But point is that it comes from a self-reliance, right? It comes from within, the power. And I feel like that's the big distinction, is those who are powerful, it's not because of what utility you provide for others. It's, do people even want to be like you? Do people want to be ruled by you? Not because of their own fucking benefit, but because of your magnanimity, your passion, your intelligence, all these great qualities that you need in order to be a great leader. Do people want to emulate you? That's true power, right? Influence, that your name and your presence and your face is apparent in every person's subconscious, and you're not even in the fucking room. You're not even in the room. You're not even in the same country. You're not even in the same city. And people think about you, and people want to be like you. What are you doing for the work in order to get that sort of attention from others? And it goes against, superficial titles. People believe they're powerful just because they got elected such. People believe they're powerful because they have a lot of followers. They think they're cooler than everybody. They got more influence. They're more important because of these superficial inflations of the ego, without any word being involved. What new ingenuity, what new novel package are you providing that warrants such such a bestowment of power and respect that everyone is looking for. In our era, it's become a lot easier, but at the same time, it's become more shallow. Quality of what power is has diminished greatly. It no longer resides on what you are able to do. How are you able to influence the community? How are you able to influence others? How are you able to exhibit power in a way that wants people, that would have people want to emulate you, that generations to come you will be seen as this great figure, this ideal, what it means to be a proper ruler, a proper man, a proper leader, or whatever other moniker you want to fucking use. You know what I'm saying? We don't really have that anymore, right? A lot of us quack and talk the same nowadays, and we want to be unique at the same time when we all quack and walk the same fucking steps as everybody else, right? What you value are you providing except your resentment and your fucking complaining, right? It's a pretty cool, unique way of looking at things, because when you look at it from that perspective, you even look at it yourself. Like, you don't need to rely on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, your power can emanate from what you're doing. And it goes on to another point with Nietzsche is, then you have a gracious memory of yourself, because you are in control of your intentions, you are in control of your impulses, and you know where those intentions and impulses come from. You know what they lead to. And when you are understanding, you are okay with the actions that you portrayed, your own sense of power elevates, and it's no longer taken away by the whims of the populace, right? That's why this whole popularity contest is fucking bullshit. Why would you want to be elected by the retards out here anyways? You know what I'm saying? That's a very interesting point, and I think I'm probably going to make a reel about it, is why do you want to be powerful? Why do you want to be seen as powerful, and to be that moniker to be relied upon the prejudice of the masses? Those people that you call crazy all the time. That's what Epictetus says. Like, why would you want to, you want to be a philosopher? You want to exhibit these great traits. You want to be able to distinguish what is right from wrong. You want to be able to make the correct decisions, use reason and all the time, and never make those stupid mistakes and rely on the impulse and things of that nature, just so you could puff your chest out to the populace. Those same people that you call crazy when you're by yourself, those same people that you want to isolate from when you're by yourself, especially nowadays. I think it's incredibly important to separate oneself from the trappings of the common morality as soon as possible, for your own self-sustainment, right? For your own existence, to relinquish oneself with so many anxieties, right? Always having this double ego, having to worry about what other people are going to think, or other people are going to think you're influential, and I guess this does kind of break away from stoicism, because stoicism is still very heavily relied upon about, Zeus was called the rain bearer because of what he did for the community, what he was able to do for others. That's fine. But then he goes on to say, to be a self-interest is not a bad thing, because the power that you are able to grow within yourself eventually is going to spill over to everybody around you. And even Nietzsche says that, like, you become so powerful that you don't do it out of pity. You do it because out of overabundance of energy and power that you want to share it with everybody else. And in that way, you are exhibiting power and influence. But because of you doing something, but first developing within yourself, right? Develop, what are my traits? What are the talents that I have? And how can I elevate them further? And make myself, just focus on yourself. Focus on just you. Be utterly selfish. The virtue of selfishness, right? To the point where you eventually reach such heights that your influence and your power and everything that you have established within yourself is going to reciprocate upon everybody else. That is true power. That is true influence, not some superficial dog crap. Just because you have a title, you feel like you're important, or people get elected and suddenly everyone considers them to be geniuses, when before they were elected, people thought they were garbage, thought they were trash. Same thing with people who blow up, like rappers out of nowhere. They get millions of followers and suddenly everyone thinks they're fucking geniuses and all these things. And I'm like, dude, they're still fucking dumbasses. Like, just because they have a bit of money, you guys automatically think that they're completely different individuals. We're so enamored and we're so easily fooled nowadays with such superficial bullshit with money and influence and titles, and when that's not where true power resides, right? True power resides in what you are actually able to do, what you are actually able to exhibit um, through work, right? So, it's very interesting. I'm really glad that I'm really trying to get these two at the same time. I'll probably read one day and one the other, but they mesh extremely well, and these are all unique lines of thought that really has me changing my perspective. Stop being so fucking worrying and develop anxiety and shit like that, like, oh, how are people gonna think of what I say or think of what I do or think of how I'm doing it, when that's just impeding upon you, right? And that's one of the big tenets of stoicism, is stop worrying about fucking people's opinions, stop worrying about things outside of your control. You're getting anxiety for things that are not even real. And even if they were, who cares? It's not within your fucking control. You can't do anything about it. So what the fuck are you gonna do? You might as well just keep going. So these are all great fucking ideas. But it's always a good thing to stand on the shoulders of giants, and it's always good to develop the mind and become stronger and become more self-reliant. I feel like that's becoming more and more important nowadays by the day, is to be self-reliant, not to rely on the whims of the masses. I don't even want to be involved with them. I don't even want to be involved with the mass culture. So I started thinking about that yesterday. It's like, if I'm being loved by the mass and by the culture nowadays, then I'm clearly doing something wrong, in my opinion, because the culture and my own opinions don't it's like oil and water in many cases. So if I did that, if I'm somehow loved by the people now, I might have been a turncoat. I might have sold myself along the way. So self-reliance, has true power, being able to exhibit that. So I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. It's really very interesting roads to go down on, right? So hope you all make amazing gains. Hope you all get some reading done today. That'll be all. Stoicism and Nietzsche is a deadly combo, to say the least. Very deadly combo, but very necessary. And I hope everybody gets to try it. If you haven't already, try to mix those two, and you'll see what happens. It's pretty transformative. So love y'all, and until next time, peace.